Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 20th. We are here for a town board work session. As we start all of our meetings, would we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, before we get started with the work session, we have, I'm going to turn over to Councilwoman Waske regarding an award for our Riverhead Litter Committee.
Thank you, Supervisor. So we have someone here today that has demonstrated to be so helpful with our anti-litter committee. 2 times a year we have a spring and fall cleanup, town-wide cleanup, and Fred Marslin of Riverhead comes and helps us every time. He is the first one there, the last one to leave. He even goes back the next day and picks up more garbage, and he's just so helpful. And we have a certificate of appreciation for you. Fred, if you could come up so that we can take a picture with you, with the board. Come on up here.
No. All right, Fred, no award. Turn around.
Turn award. Turn around. Look at the camera. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Freddie.
You should thank the people that come from out of town and do the cleanup too.
We do.
We tried.
We do.
We tried. We can't believe it. Oh, thank you. How you doing? Can I leave
And
now?
we'll see you
You
May
can leave
3rd.
now.
See you later.
Thank care, Fred.
Camping out.
It doesn't look good on the TV.
No.
Okay, first item we have up today are matters surrounding an update on the Agricultural Advisory Committee, which is Bob KERN is the liaison. So in our audience we have maybe 1 or 2 farmers here from the local area. And go ahead.
Yeah, so who would like to come up to the table? I know Julie, none of us would like to. This is not a trial. Though we do have police, code enforcement, and our legal team in the back.
There you go.
Okay.
In case we need to be escorted out.
Yeah,
And 1 million viewers on TV.
yeah. There will be commercial breaks.
That's pretty good.
Everybody went to hair and makeup? Oh, yeah, they did. Okay. Love it, okay.
Just for you, Bob.
Thank you. Well,
It's so great to see all the farmers here in the room.
It is.
I know.
It is good to see. A lot of old-time families here.
the protectors of the vistas.
Well, first, thanks for giving us the opportunity to come down and, talk about some of the issues and things facing the Riverhead agricultural community. As we all know, I think this community is a pretty important part of the town of Riverhead. We want to see it continue and thrive. It's becoming more and more difficult, business-wise, and not things beyond the town scope and that. But there are a few concerns in the town, I guess, things we see that we'd like to address concerning, setbacks of barns, being unrealistic, 1,000-foot setbacks, things like this. That's very costly. Some of the things that came up in the hotel code, hopefully that won't happen again in the future. With one particular project where the guy's going to do indoor growing, is a thing that, it must be grown in the soil after it's grown indoors, which makes absolutely no sense at all. Financially, from a food safety perspective, as you know, I was a fairly large lettuce grower. It's diminishing every year, but food safety, keeping any kind of animal out of the field is very important. And whether it's deer, geese, birds, woodchucks, you name it. Growing it indoors, obviously, they can get away from some of that. I don't know how feasible that stuff is. It's very expensive. It's not something I'm looking at to do, but.
Right. But it's an option available.
Right, and that's
It needs to be an
some of the
option
things we're concerned about is, the perception that agriculture has always been, potatoes and vegetables. Well, look around town, that's disappeared. I mean, to find that stuff, you have to look hard. It used to be everywhere. And agriculture is changing. I don't know what it's going to bring in the future. Myself, I don't really care for the retail business. I'd be loving to load 2 tractor trailers every night like we used to do. That's just not feasible anymore. So we've gotten into retail. We haven't done agritourism, but there seems, I don't want to do that. There are operations that do that to subsidize their farming habit. And, that the town needs to be looking at that we can continue with that kind of stuff without too much restriction. Some of the events that people hold, I understand that, there needs to be rules and things to follow, but let's not have that be overburdensome, going forward.
Phil, can I just say, you brought up the vertical farming, and I'm very familiar with the way that code was written, and I'm very much against that. It's counterintuitive to grow indoors, and then when it gets to a certain point, transplant it outside. That code was not written with farmers involved, so I think that code needs to be looked at. And also the setbacks, and the fear that there was going to be vertical farms everywhere. And to your point, the expense to do it is incredible. Number one, the energy to do it is incredible, especially in New York. And I just had this conversation with somebody from Cornell yesterday, that the only way to really get that done is with solar. If you don't have solar, the electrical expense in New York makes it a very difficult situation. So thanks for bringing that up. And one other quick thing, how do you see tariffs affecting?
Oh, well,
I'm just curious, has that been on?
honestly, 25% for Canada isn't enough. I could give you all kinds of stories about.
Your lettuce story is incredible.
Well, and
I tell that everyone.
it's not just lettuce.
I know.
I mentioned it because
It's
that's
a
what I
good
grow.
point,
It's
though.
potatoes and it's
Yeah.
everything else. The vegetable industry in Canada is subsidized
Right.
pretty heavily. Here it's not. And the exchange rate on the dollar has been 30 to 35% for many years. The last time I looked, I think it was last week, it's 42%. So they're getting 42% more than I can get. And the supermarkets and wholesale buyers say to me, Phil, we want the local product, we love your stuff, but you have to compete. I can't.
Right.
I can't. That affects the pricing, and that affects everybody. And that is part of the reasons a lot of the vegetable farms and stuff have disappeared around here. It takes me 2 hours to get to New York Market. It takes them 6. We're there the same day.
Right.
So the freight it's really not a big deal at all. And again, I worked with them when NAFTA first passed, and I know these farmers. They're good people. I'm willing to compete with them, but you got to put us on a level playing field. When NAFTA passed, they literally were laughing, but chuckling anyway. And I don't blame them. There was opportunity like crazy, and they capitalized on it.
And a lot of people don't realize this all started with NAFTA and the fact that the current administration is trying to level that, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. That was done in '92, NAFTA.
Right.
When you read up on it and understand it, and
Right.
why it puts people like you in your situation,
Right.
having to go to retail or having, events. And I know because having been in this business here in Riverhead, that's you need to supplement your business.
Right, and I don't want to speak to other businesses, how it
Yeah.
affects them, but, they talk about, they could have raised the price of chips, it could raise the price of aluminum. How about we become dependent on the other countries for our food?
Yeah, that's a good.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening,
And they really have us in the
Well,
process.
Again, this is, beyond
Yeah,
what you
I get
guys
it.
can do here for us today, but that's, it's really affected, one of the things that's really affected.
So how can we get a very specific list of items, from you specifically that we need to work on, that we need to make better to help our farmers? So in terms of just having, it's great to have a generalized conversation, but I want to support you. I want to know very specifically what we need to do sitting here to help you move forward to be successful.
So I'll take a crack at it. So thank you, because we know that you as a town board have always been supportive of the farmers, and we appreciate the great working relationship that we have, and we want to continue that way. My suggestion is Ag Advisory has been meeting regularly, and we've been talking about specific issues, so why don't the Ag Advisory Committee come up with very specific things going forward to submit to you as a board in general that we could start having more dialogue on and continue to work on. One of the things that I see is, as Phil mentioned, agriculture is evolving. The farmers have no choice but to evolve, and that means changing from a preconceived notion of what farmers were 40 years ago to what they are today, but also where they're going. We see brand new crops coming in that have never been in Riverhead before. You look at maybe some cannabis. You talk about hops and the proliferance of breweries. We have a great wine industry, fruit and vegetable, horses. All of that is already in Riverhead. But the question is, where do farmers go? And having done this for a long time, we recognize that the best way to keep farmland in production is for farmers to be profitable. If farmers are profitable, they're going to want to continue to farm and continue to grow the products. They want to be left alone. They don't want more people coming in telling them how to do things. And if we can find ways with your support to say, okay, farming is transitioning, how can the farmers be profitable? That will take the pressure off us having to preserve everything right away. If we had to preserve all the unpreserved land, you're looking at $400 or $500 million, and there's no way that the town can come up with that.
No.
So while we're taking little bits and pieces of preservation and dealing with them, we still need to find a way to keep the critical mass in production so that there's time for the town and the county and everybody else to continue to do the preservation work. There's no question that agriculture provides that rural character in Riverhead, and we want to see it continue, and I think many of the residents, as well as you, want to see that rural character still be here. So we're eager, we're ready to start having these conversations, and we'll put something together for you that's a little bit more comprehensive.
You're coming right into another planting season beginning, so let's try to do what we can immediately. So let's not dwell on it too long. Come right forward.
Of course.
Say, these are our ideas that we need to get forward. If there's something that we can do, certainly to help you with this season right now, then let's do it right away.
Awesome, thank you.
I guess one of the other things we'd like to address is the John Kinsella property in
Lydian River.
Wading River.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to hand it off to Julie because she's our expert on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this would be something you actually could do right now. This has been kicking around for a couple of months and just haven't gotten a response, so I just want to bring it back to your attention. This is a map of Wading River, and all the parcels outlined in different colors were part of a farmland preservation effort that the Land Trust worked on for quite a few years, and I'm happy to report that all of them are now preserved. So that's a nice big chunk of Wading River. Let's move it around. So one of the properties we worked on was this property right here, which was formerly owned by John and Bill Zumas. And the property had site plan approval on it for a shopping center. So there was some concern at the time of the site plan approval because you could have a shopping center on the portion along 25A, and they also could have had homes on the back portion. So there was an agreement as part of the site plan approval that an open space easement be placed on the back portion and the shopping center would go on the front portion. To mitigate the impact on the whole community. So the open space easement was really created simply in the context of the shopping center. So if we fast forward to December 2023, the land trust purchased the development rights off the property and, the right to the shopping center. And we preserved it with an agricultural easement, allowing for farming there. And so, at that point, the shopping center is not going to be built. It will never be built, which is great. And, so in a sense, the need that the open space easement was addressing, no longer exists because the shopping center will never happen. Currently, the property is now owned by the farming family, the Kinzellas, and they would very much like to be able to farm, the entirety of the property. So, since the land trust already holds the agricultural easement on the front portion, we're willing to take on the responsibility of monitoring and enforcing, an agricultural easement on the whole property. So, from a practical standpoint, it makes sense, right? One landowner, one easement holder, one consistent set of restrictions on the property. Joanne, you probably remember there was another condition of the site plan approval, a cross-access agreement, that the planning board terminated because once we purchased the development rights, the shopping center is not going to happen. There was no reason for the cross-access agreement. So nobody's asking that, the easement just go away and you'd be able to put the homes there or something like that. We're just looking to transition it from one set of restrictions based on open space to a different set of restrictions which would allow for the agricultural use of the property.
I know that Councilwoman Merrifield and myself went and we met with Mr. Kinsella and walked the property.
Okay.
And Councilwoman, there was something with the state, that the
Yes.
state superseded?
I spoke with Deputy Town Attorney Anne-Marie Prudenti, familiar with this, and it's already, that land is now preserved as open space property.
Correct.
And it can't, by our town board, be changed to anything else. The action would have to take place on the state level. We explained that it would be something that is beyond the town board's authority to do so. Otherwise, it's a taking. And I had given him this section, and I apologize because I didn't know you were going to speak to this today. I don't know if Ms. Prudenti is available in the building, but I had even given him, what?
Okay, she's on her way down.
Okay. I had even given him the section of the state constitution that referred to it. So I'll
Okay.
let her speak to it
Well-
more specifically.
Easements are our bread and butter at the Land Trust. This is what we've been doing for 41 years, and we have several attorneys, one just for our, easements. She works all over the country, and she wouldn't have let us present this as a potential, solution here if there was any sort of legal impediment to it.
What is the easement for? In terms of access, is it a project behind? When you're just speaking about the easement on the property, do you want to farm on the easement? Is that what they're asking for?
Yes.
Or is
Yes,
it-
exactly.
Anne Marie,
So
could you come up and
still,
join us?
Why is-
still completely projected,
He wants
no
homes.
houses, just allowing for
But
an
does it block,
agricultural
by him
use.
doing that, does it block access to any particular other?
It's not that type of easement.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
not
not
an
a-
access
yeah, it's not an
easement, it's
access
a use easement.
Right.
So when they say
Right.
open space,
Okay.
open space
Forgive me.
prohibits agriculture.
Okay.
And only allows no use whatsoever.
Okay.
Where agriculture allows agriculture or open space basically, but no more intensive uses.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand, that's why I was just
Okay.
thinking is there something behind there okay. Okay, thank you.
Anne Marie, we're talking about the Gonzalo
Yes.
property. I know you're very familiar with it. The question is, does the state have to do something to allow this land to be farmed
As opposed to
No.
the town
as
board.
opposed to
It's
the
the
town
town.
board? The town does?
It's the town.
Okay.
I've understood that we can't change this. I understood it had to be done by the state, not the town.
That's not correct.
Oh, okay.
By the town.
So what do we gotta do to help them?
Well, so the town board basically has to talk about it. What you're doing is, you're taking a piece of preserved open space that Eve is right, cannot be farmed, and quote, doesn't have value. And you're converting it to a piece of property that now does have value. So
So we have the ability as a town board to go with Peconic Land Trust and allow farming on that piece of property?
town board can do what it wants, with the understanding that you're granting yield, value, on a piece of property that currently doesn't have value.
Well,
Can
it
I
still
also-
has value.
Can I
but-
also mention something? My understanding was because the prior owner, Mr. Zumas, had already gotten value from this property. Could you explain that portion of it?
Sure. So when the state of New York evaluates a piece of property, they do it based upon the highest and best use, the yield. The, I forget the name of the project, Square,
Vienza?
Oh,
yeah.
Central Square, the name
Central
of the
Square,
site
yeah,
plan.
thank you.
Yes.
So when the state valued that, they valued it at the highest and best use, which was the site plan. That site plan required the sterilization of the back 9 to get that intense yield on the site plan.
Okay, so, that, right, like, if they were able to get 100 more seats in their restaurant by sterilizing that portion of the property, you'd be absolutely correct. But that's not my understanding what happened. They could have had the shopping center, they got what they could get, they could have had homes. The open space easement eliminated rights to the homes, so it didn't increase the value of what they got out of the shopping center.
So I am not going to challenge the planning board. That was a planning board approved site plan. And their site plan, in order to get that, quote, development project, required the sterilization of the back 9.
Okay, so the
The
project,
development
So-
project
so-
went away though.
It-
And then he got the
Right.
value.
so it doesn't exist anymore, the development project is gone.
Right.
Correct.
Land was preserved.
And the then owner was paid the value of the entire project.
Right.
And by doing what, selling the development rights, or?
Yes.
Okay,
So
so-
the state of New York did an appraisal. They had an approved site plan. Highest and best use, they looked at it, based upon the site plan, this is what could be developed. And then they were paid by the state for that.
Okay, so then, I'm sorry, so you.
They were
then-
paid by the land trust. The
Oh,
land trust
sorry,
paid
sorry,
for it.
I apologize.
Right.
Okay.
So
So
the
they-
downside to allowing this to be farmed now is exactly what to us, to the town?
It's just whether or not the town determines, are you gifting yield to someone?
The yield isn't going back, though. The yield, it's
Right
still going to
now-
be protected. The residential yield is still
Yeah.
going to be gone.
Farming is not a yield.
So right now, it's open space. There's no value. Agricultural production is commercial. And quote, commercial property is you're now planting, harvesting, quote, to make a profit. I mean, it's
I under-
business.
I understand that, but me personally, living in Wading River, I'd like to see and keep that farm and that agricultural aspect of Wading River, and I don't really see the issue or a downside of allowing them to farm on that land. I see they're doing some work now, and it's kind of already cleaning up the aesthetics and the front looks of the property as you're going by in Wading River. It looks nice.
So the front
But-
area is farmland
Yeah, and so, and they're working on
preserved
that.
by the land trust.
I understand about the conceptual, but as long as that, if what we're doing is in our perfectly legal steps to allow it, then I'd like to keep I'd like to give them the opportunity to be able to farm in on that region and keep it agricultural.
They don't
Because
obviously-
it's right next to CVS up there, so you've got from shopping center to farm. So, I like that it's not just a continuation of more commercial stores. that seem to, often struggle in Wading River, so.
And it would be great for this individual farmer at this point in time, obviously, but it's going to contribute to, more land mass of agricultural lands in the town
And-
forever.
And should it ever not be farming, it's still preserved land.
Right.
So it has the,
My concern,
I
Ms.
would-
Prudenti, I'm sorry, my concern, Ms. Prudenti, is the town then gifting this?
Yeah,
So we're giving a gift.
Oh, so he doesn't own the land and he's not paying taxes on it.
But if he's going to get
Correct.
value on it,
the town is gifting yield on a property
Does
that,
Mr. Kinsella own the land?
yes,
Does he pay taxes on it?
I
preserve land?
believe he does.
Is there a different tax rate from ag land to open space?
Yes,
How much, what's the difference?
I'm sorry. I wish I had the number.
I'm thinking
not an
I'm thinking it's
assessor.
not very much. Well, let's convert it to
No,
agriculture.
and
There's a
if
few
you're
more
getting an
tax dollars to the town.
ag tax
You know.
exemption, it was,
how is it a gift if we're getting more tax dollars to the town? I mean, if we're getting something back, but that's one question. But the second question is, the Conic Land Trust has already deemed this agricultural land. Did I understand you correctly?
the agricultural easement is on half the property, yes.
Is there any reason why the farmer couldn't farm the entire piece of property?
Yes,
I
because,
just want to hear from the land trust, I'm sorry.
I mean, from like the actual physical characteristics of the property, it has good soils, it's level, it would be great, it fits in, obviously ties in with the ag, operation on the front. It would make much more sense if the entire property could be farmed. I mean, yes, currently they can't because of the open space.
Right, but for the land trust would sanction them farming the entire piece is my question.
Yeah, we would definitely.
Okay.
I mean, it was a farm
Support
before
that and
Zuma
be
saw
happy
it,
to.
right?
Yeah, it's historically
Right.
always been farmed
And
and
it-
had been part of the Kinsella.
It had always been part of the Kinsella family going back
Right.
in
Oh,
going
Yeah.
back many
Absolutely.
generations ago. So
Which
this
is one of the
actually-
beauties of this whole thing, is that it's really, I mean, as Phil was saying, over time, it's becoming increasingly difficult to keep ag operations going. And this is almost putting one back together a little bit and really, increasing their chance for success in the future.
But we're talking about gifting it to the farmer, but I also think it's a gift to all the residents,
I
keeping the agricultural heritage alive, and it keeps the aesthetics of it, as opposed to, farming is also beautification. I mean, that's just, there is that when you're traveling, to say, this is the town that I live in, and I've said all along to do everything we can to keep the agricultural heritage. I think that the gift is really to everybody, so if it's just about, if it's about specifically giving the right to the farmer to plant it, I think it increases the aesthetics of the whole community as a whole, especially, like I say, living in Wading River, I pass by that 100 times a day.
This is the gateway,
Yeah.
to the town, really.
Yeah.
so I'm just going to say, I wasn't prepared. I
Right.
didn't know this was on. I don't, quote, give legal advice to the town board in a public forum. You should give me the opportunity to research and advise the town board. That's,
But I'd also say, let's do our best to find a way to see.
Yeah,
what we can
and
do to
I'm
make
with
this
that
happen.
as well. I mean, this has been going on way too long, and the land trust paid to preserve it. You have an attorney, and if there's any question, what I would like to do is have your attorney speak with our attorney that's going to advise us so that, you'd be amenable to that, right?
this is a covenant that this town board would have to, quote, undo and vote to undo. So that legal advice should come from counsel, not outside an attorney.
I'm not asking for their counsel to counsel this board. I respect the fact that you will counsel this
Right.
board, but if there's any conflict, I'm suggesting that you then have a conversation with their attorney. That's all.
Okay.
To understand both sides.
Offer you,
That's all I'm saying.
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the issue that this property has already been, value was given to this property to an individual. And to now give it back to be able to farm it puts a value back on this property where technically there is none, where it's just open space and nothing can be done with it. And I remember hearing the term double dipping when it came to this. But I think, and I know your concern for the town has always been the town, it's difficult for the town to give things out to the community because there's a benefit to certain people that are going to receive from this, but not the entire community. But I think what Bob said makes a lot of sense, that by gifting this back and giving the farmer the right to farm it, it's a benefit, it is a benefit to the entire town, as opposed to just the person that's going to farm it. And I think if we can explain that publicly to the people of the town, I can't imagine anybody having an issue with this happening, so the farmers can get back to farming. And so the Kinsella family can use that property instead of just staring at it.
We evaluate special permits all the time. Can it be something in the form of a special permit, granting them rights to do it?
So that's why I want to examine it, and it's critical for this town board not to set a precedent to, quote, give yield where none exists. I understand farming is supported throughout the town, and it's probably much more unique than commercial, but you don't want to ever put yourself in a situation where somebody's viewing it that you already set a precedent on. That's all.
All right, we'll give you the opportunity to research and educate us further on this, but with the mindset, and I'm not speaking for the entire board, but from what I've heard of you so far, it sounds like we would all support somehow trying to make this happen so that the Kinsella family can farm that property.
I
Because
understand.
everybody benefits from that,
And the taxpayers, we get some additional tax revenue on property that.
more than what they're getting now.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And how many other properties are like this and that would be affected like this in Riverhead? Just so, for clarity, I mean, but this.
I mean, this is a very unique
Does-
situation where there was a project that was based on that open space being there. So how many other, I'd be very
May never
surprised.
see this again.
No, it could potentially be dozens, because pursuant to our town code, we require cluster development. The cluster will be for either open space or agriculture. We have many clustered subdivisions that have open space. So that's
Right.
why
Those were
it's
actually
important
built.
to take a hard look and make sure, if you embark on this, it really is written in such a way that it is so tight, novel, unique, that it wouldn't apply.
Let me ask this question. How many farmers in the room would even take advantage? I mean, everybody that's farming, how many farmers are looking to increase the amount of land they're farming right now? Is another question to this. You know, I don't see people jumping and buying additional land to farm, right?
Land is expensive.
Right, so.
Takes a long time to work.
They
Well,
do lease
Bob-
other
Yeah,
lands
you know, I
that
would
they
like to
own.
just-
Bob,
maybe-
what's key is what you just said, buy. You use the word buy.
All right, but if that would also if that would bring in additional tax revenue, could ask that question. How many people would continue to take out other land and farm on it?
Well, could I take a crack at that?
Sure.
And again, we're talking about today, in today's world, in today's place and time. But as I said earlier, we need to start thinking about the future. And how much farmland is there going to be in the United States as other lands get developed, as we deal with droughts in California, as we deal with climate change and other scenarios? And is it possible that the day comes, not too distant in the future, that we actually need more farmland? And the idea of turning some where it's applicable and where there's good farmland, some of those open space clusters into farmland to generate more farmland for our future is something that needs to be considered and needs to be thought about. I see a prevalence of very young people and new people that are looking to come into agriculture, that are looking for 5-acre parcels or 10-acre parcels which fit their size operation. The creation of new farmland could be a possibility if the day comes when some of these situations come to fruition. I'm not saying that it's right or that it's the best for everybody, but on a case-by-case basis, the option is there, and it could be something the town board would like to consider.
Well, I'm going to just say this. The one thing I was very happy about during COVID was when we knew we could go to a farm stand and get food. We had that ability. People in Queens didn't have that ability. They couldn't go to a retail like yours, Phil, and get. And I've watched it. I can remember back in the late 90s when there was hardly any farmers having to put retail on their farms, and how it just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And I knew exactly why it was happening. So.
But Kinsella family in Wading River, I feel like, has always battled. They're surrounded by all those homes, and it's like, I feel like they're the last force of pushing off development in there from
like
both
this
sides of
oasis.
25A.
Well, that's accurate.
It's
That's how it
they're
is.
being surrounded, and I want to support his fight. I want to be, because it's the gateway to Riverhead. It's what you come in. It's the initial impression that I've arrived in Riverhead, and now I'm traveling east, from the west, and I'd like to keep that aesthetic view. And I just think that I look at the property right now. It's not been developed. It's not a grand aesthetic view. It's to me, it just looks like a vacant lot. But I think if we can get crops on there and grow, and we can show a good farm production, I think that's also healthy and benefit and beautification of Riverhead overall.
And you have the next generation, John Jr., that wants to come back and farm
It's
with
a
his
place for him to
family.
work.
He needs that access to that land because it's tough enough to farm on limited acreage, and that extra 9 or 10 acres will make a big difference in him being able to continue the family operation.
I love that farm. It's right by my home. Every day I go past, it's beautiful. I love the strawberries. I get the strawberries from them every year. I love the area that he's taken over on the other side by CVS. And I know he wants to grow hops because the trees will protect the hops. That's why he wants those back 9 acres. I just want to make sure we're doing this, that we're not setting the wrong precedent. So we're taking a step. And I was under the impression that this would have had to been changed at the state level, because that's what I had advised him and given information to him on.
No,
That-
it's
That
town level.
town level could.
It's a covenant that was put in place by the planning board. So.
We
it's
can do it.
town.
Let's find a way.
Just have one
That
more
was
question. So you
before I
keep
was
saying
on the planning board.
he was gifted that property? He didn't pay anything for it, or the Kinsella family, or?
No.
You're saying he was gifted the property,
No,
but he's paying tax?
if the issue was there was 9 acres in the front, 9 acres in the back,
Right.
Zumas got the value all put up in the front, and then he sold it back, or he's in some sort of agreement.
Yeah.
Right,
Zumas
he
is now in
was
agreement
paying
with the
for us,
Kinsellas. My point is that's what the supervisor referring to, the term double dipping, Zumas, not the
I would say
Kinsellas.
the Zumases were
Thank you for
paid
correcting
about $2.5 million less.
I'm just
than
saying,
what
I'm
the
just saying that the land
Zumases
deal,
were, so.
the arrangement was,
Well, the Kinsellas now own it. They purchased it from the Zumases. That's completely done. Yeah.
All right, I have my marching orders.
okay,
Let's find a way.
Thank you.
yes,
Thanks.
if we can.
What else we got?
Thanks,
One,
Ed.
just briefly, one last thing. I know we've been talking probably for 2 years now about
No, but I like this. This is good.
combining our committees, the Preservation Committee and the Ag Advisory Committee. But actually, Rob and I met with Joanne the other day. We're going to have a joint meeting together and, and discuss the feasibility of maybe doing something like that, or not feasibility or whatever. So,
We'll support whichever direction you want to go. It's a decision you guys have to talk about and make.
I want to be done being the chairman of this committee.
Oh, come on, Phil.
And I think lastly, we wanted to invite all of you for a farm tour this season. We would love to, through Farm Bureau, we'd love to be able to put together like a little tour of Riverhead's farms, like they do so often for out of the area, out of state.
We would love that.
Policymakers, and you probably haven't even been to all of our farms. So while the weather's good, we would love to host you, even if it's you have a morning or however long you have for that.
I would love
Great,
that.
yeah.
We could do that.
Who do we go through to arrange that? You?
I'll take
Yeah,
care of
just-
it.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let us
right.
Do you
know.
want to do it together, or do you need to do it separately?
I think something like that, I believe we can do together. I don't think we're not making any decisions on anything, and it would
Solely
just,
educational.
technically, it would be open to the public, so if the press wanted to join along, they could,
Absolutely.
We
so,
could do that.
yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I think the only other thing was the TDRs and CPF money.
Yeah. I'd like to get the TDR program going and workable. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah,
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
I think the first step is to get the bank set up and
Yeah.
go from there.
So I've had conversations with the accountant on how that would work, and we'll continue that conversation with the TDR committee. There is a process to make that work. We've had one meeting with planning so far. We need to have another one like ASAP. I spoke to them yesterday in terms of making this work. I don't want to belabor this with units versus square footage, blah, 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 but we need to, Richard Wines and the audience, really sit down and get this done and get it done now. So,
And find ways to fund the bank for future purchases.
yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of great things, and thank you all again for the work on the comprehensive plan, which has set the stage for us going forward. And that document is going to be monumental in us being able to do a workable, functioning TDR program and work to preserve acreage as part of the bigger picture. And definitely the funds that are going to start coming in from the Community Preservation Fund will help. We're also talking to Suffolk County and New York State, and I'm advocating personally and through Farm Bureau for trying to get money from the Bond Act to help purchase farmland to partner with Riverhead in some way, shape, or form in the county. The more dollars we can get here, the better efforts we'll have, so.
And we've had conversations with Catherine Stark in regards to working together with the county, because together we can maybe do more than we each can separately. So
Absolutely,
there's a possibility of a good relationship there, so.
absolutely.
I just want to say, having been on the Ag Committee for 15 years and continue as a liaison, you guys are amazing. Everything is just factual, and I love it. So.
Bob was one of the first settlers here.
Yeah, I was here back when I came over on the Mayflower.
Poor Bob.
So,
I'm young. I'm learning.
I think you know that this board supports the agricultural community. I mean, we need you, we love you, we have to have you, and we have always tried to do the right thing to help you. And having conversations like this is excellent. To have an open flow and see what we can fix. This Kinsella thing has been kicking around for years. So to now maybe bring it to a head and work on it and get it back in the right direction, this is great. It's great having this conversation in this type of forum. So thank you all for coming in. I know you all have much better things to be doing, but
First day of
this is
spring.
very important too. First day of spring.
First day
Absolutely.
of
I
spring.
just have one quick question, because we often get, from the residents, oh, we want the farmland protected, we don't want to see any more development. Am I being conservative in saying that 60% of the houses in Riverhead are on what was once farmland?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably more.
Sure,
Probably more.
absolutely.
And it always baffles me, because I say, even in my short 20-some-odd years here, and I used to ride around on ATVs, and I tell people, well, if I rode where I used to ride, I'd be riding right through your house,
Oh, yeah.
because that was once a
Snowmobiles,
farm.
all that.
Yeah,
Automobiles,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
When we used to get snow.
so thank you, because I every time I see a project where, a farmer is they've got options, right? If somebody options their property for a development, and I see a big development, I go, okay, there goes another piece that someone's not farming, and it's going to be a development, and they're going to come down on the residents. But hey, they need to support the farmers as well.
Yeah, that's why we need legislation that helps us, even with some of these things that are maybe not the norm, what we're used to farming.
Yep.
Again, like I said, I didn't want to do retail. You know, we're kind of forced to.
I think you
We
should
haven't
double
done-
the size.
Well, haven't done agri-tainment, I don't want to, but,
Your kids
you know,
might.
Phil can get his
it's always
tunes going.
changing. Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Anyway,
right.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
Thank you.
and
Thank you
for
very much.
listening to us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Philly, good to see you.
Follow up right away.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You were at the farm. I was trying to remember, was that last year or 2 years ago?
That was,
2 years ago.
when Romaine came out, right?
Yeah, when Romaine came out. Yeah, good to see you again.
Yes.
Thanks, Robert.
Rob, put that tour together,
Thank
that'd be awesome.
I will.
would love that.
I'll reach out to your office
Yes.
for an appropriate.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay, next up, we have matters surrounding the monthly police report with Chief Frost. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. When I think of Riverhead, these are the people you think
Oh,
of.
absolutely.
yeah.
The families, the generational farmers,
Yeah.
and the new farmers that have come out and continued the industry. Good stuff.
And it's really good, the young farmers, Farm Bureau is growing, which is important.
Awesome.
Your party's over.
Chief, okay, how we going?
It's a
Right?
good audience.
February, obviously, we saw a drop in total incidents of almost 300.
Wow.
We also saw the number of criminal incidents drop by 22, and the non-criminal incidences down as well.
Because there's a new chief in town.
I just do want to go over, if you go to page 3, which is the NIBRS report, I do want to address 2 specific ones, because if anybody sees it, they might be, like, what's going on. So you see in January, the top robbery, and in February, we had 3. We had 2 instances, both led to an arrest. One was down more by the post office, and the other one was up by Middle Road area by one of our youth facilities in that area. All 3 subjects were arrested for that. Also, just addressing 220, the burglary, it went from 1 to 5. Working with the district attorney's office has been great. They're a very good partner to have, as everyone knows. So what we've been doing recently is someone goes into a store for petty larceny. We issue them a notice of trespass. So they could get arrested that time for petty larceny, but then that document takes away their right and privilege to enter the store moving forward. So once they have that signed against them, and these are more of the repeat offenders that the specific incidents are going on, the ones with 8, 9, we get to able to charge them with a felony of burglary third, because now their right and privilege was removed legally, and now they're committing another crime within, which is another petty larceny or grand larceny. So four of
I like that.
4 of those of the 5 are those type, from Tanger or one of the box stores on 58. One was the burglary downtown by the historical center, which we made an arrest. He was actually still in the. It was 313 West Main. He was the individual was in there. So that being said,
Chief,
go ahead.
can I ask you, you just gave an address, can you say what building it was that they were in there?
It's the new office.
It's a gray house
Correct.
across the street from Suffolk Historical Society.
Okay, yes, all right.
It's been real estate over the years.
Yes.
It's an office in there, offices in there now. And the police got there so fast, the guy was still inside the place, so.
Yes. The non-fatals and fatals, we didn't have any
That's good.
in February.
Page one.
It's just, I have it, it's just,
Oh, okay.
I don't think you get that.
Now I can.
Yeah, the rest of the information, I just wanted to really go over those 2 main topics. And you can also see, like, the shoplifting has dropped a lot as well. I don't know if it's, just due to the time of year, but, our efforts, I think, I think it was discussed, and I think we put a press release out that, we're working with the loss prevention of many stores now, and like putting actually like details together to hopefully apprehend it while they're in progress, that way we're there instead of
You're getting more in the stores.
Yes, and then the stores, and the stores are sending their loss prevention managers out, so they will prosecute, because a lot of the times with the stores, the local store has to contact like a corporate loss prevention, and a lot of times it goes back, later on to be charged. So,
Is your Cope unit helping in that?
yes, yep, well, the crime control is leading it, and then obviously extra personnel is the COPE unit.
I have to say, the DA, Ray Tierney, has the fact that he's done this, changed this to now three thefts basically is a felony? Is that been?
It could be, depends on the really, the case-by-case basis. But like I said, taking it from a trespass affidavit and then the person returns back into a felony, which is of a burglary, which is good. So they, the last one did go to grand jury, for it. So, hopefully it works out.
I love that. That's such a great setup to do that. By adding the trespass affidavit, get it signed, and now they're committing a crime when they go back in.
Correct.
Well, they're committing a crime by committing a crime, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I said, I think hopefully it's going to help
Nice.
out. So,
Nice,
other
nice,
than
nice.
that, I don't really have anything else, unless you guys have anything. Like I said, we're just moving forward. And
No, I keep hearing from the store owners downtown how happy they are with the 607, 608 guys
608 and
men and
spare
women
unit, like if I have extra units there.
going into the stores and stopping in and, chatting with them, listening to them, helping them with issues. That feedback makes it all the way up here all the time, and we really appreciate that.
I'm down there weekly.
You are.
I was off last week.
Do you know your chief is out there walking on the street? I'm like, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
We know that. We're
It's
very
good. It's
happy
good.
with that.
The businesses like it. And
It's good. You got your
they
patrol
like-
force likes it.
They like.
They like seeing the chief out and about.
And the business, it's you lead by example.
Right.
If I'm not going to do it,
Yep.
why should they in their
100%.
mind? But the businesses do like it though, because I actually speak to quite a few of them. So
Chief, what's good about the burglary charge too is it doesn't matter what you took for the petty larceny. It doesn't have to be a certain
Yeah,
property
you take
value.
a stick of gum.
If you took, if you
Yep.
had no permission to be on that store and you take it,
Yep.
it could be a very low
love
level
that.
thing that you took and it's a felony. That's great.
Yep, so that's like we've been working on with the DA's office. They're very receptive of it, and they actually kind
Love
of
it.
brought it up, as well. So we can do it.
But on a proud
Great.
note, those motorcycles look sharp.
Yes, the motorcycles are out for the first time in
Yeah.
the Jamesport Parade. They look good. I like the actually. I was going to ask Alex for the file for the motorcycles with the flag behind it.
Which one?
The motorcycles with the flag in Jamesport.
Nice pictures that were taken.
Pictures.
Great.
If you could just send that file to me, is that
I
possible?
have to ask Denise about
Okay, please do, because I'd like to actually, put that up in the building.
it. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. It looked great in sight.
Very nice.
Okay, that's it. You have anything?
Any questions?
Excellent job,
No.
Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Very much.
Have a
See you
good
later.
day.
Yep.
Okay, next up, matters surrounding monthly code enforcement report with Investigator Downs.
Morning.
We're going to write you.
Alex, have a permit for that computer? Could you check and see if that's...
Hazard over there.
Okay.
Alex?
Sorry.
Oh, call the team.
All right, everybody have their handout?
Yes.
Okay. So numbers are a little down for the complaints being recorded for February. We're down to 55. Not too much, I think we're at
This is only
59.
28 days
Yeah.
in February. That's
So, yeah, 55 new complaints were opened. Some of the ones that I bullet pointed was unsafe illegal apartments, we had 5. No CO complaints, we had 5. Property maintenance violations, we had 7. Unregistered vehicles, we had 4. And there's a bunch of others, but I won't go through them all. We have 123 cases still under investigation. We constantly eliminate some and we gain some, so that number is pretty steady. We've issued 68 summonses and violations for the month of February. Violations such as no rental permits, no building permits, no COs, accessory buildings without permits, litter on commercial properties, importation and exportation of materials, unlawful signs, rubbish, weeds. We had some swimming pool violations. Some of the people that have gotten permits have not gotten their COs, and that was some of the cases. We had a violation of approved site plan, unsafe buildings and structures, some property maintenance code violation, unregistered vehicles, and zoning use violations. Supreme Court actions, we haven't turned anything new in February over to the town attorney's office, but we still have 2 cases pending. Rental properties, we've inspected 75 residential type structures and 65 apartment units in the town. We've collected $24,225 in fees for the month of February. Total revenue this year, $73,800 in rental fees. All right, that's about it.
Rich, first I want to thank you for going after the owner of the parking lot for Staples on West Marinas. And I think that, I know it takes a long time, and I've gotten a number of complaints on that, and from what is my understanding, that this will be done by the end of April. It's going to be repaid.
Okay, yes, that's great.
Okay. The other thing I'd like to bring up is...
Victoria was great in that too. I think she reached out to the actual
Is she here today?
owners.
Yes. She's right there.
She's right there, yeah.
The other thing I want to bring up, because I think it's important, is, often, and I'm not going to name a specific project, but, somebody gets slammed and it becomes a big press thing that they don't have a certificate of occupancy. But when you look at how many people are building without permits, do not have COs, and I also get that from constituents, and I say, there's a lot of people out there, and code is on top of all of it, so.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
And thank you for, Longview, what was the name of that road?
12 Longview. I'm sorry, I said the address out loud.
Well, thank you.
It was on a public hearing, so.
Yeah, and that took, we started that, I think, back in October.
I think they're starting the work this week, actually.
Excellent.
To clean that place up. Yep. Yeah. Good.
Very good. Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you much,
guys. All right,
Rich.
take
Appreciate
care.
the update. Okay. Next we'll take matters surrounding monthly justice court report with Councilor CERU. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Let's start off with item 1. Does anyone need a copy of the February report?
Wait, I have it.
This is it. It looks like this. Okay, everyone has it.
February 20.
Okay, so we met 3 times in Justice Court in February. They canceled court February 18th because I was at Association of Towns. So this is just a reflection of 3 court dates, but nonetheless, we actually did extremely well. So you'll see fire marshals, the DJ next to it is default judgment. Those were for blocked egresses. Those were some companies from Tanger that just didn't appear. They don't appear to court twice over a 4-week period. I make an application for a default judgment. So it's not collected yet, but it is, was issued. Most of these that you see in blight mitigation are companies from stores from Tanger that did show up with counsel, provided proof that the egresses were cleared in a swift manner. So they got a $1,000 fine with a $65 surcharge. And this kind of takes me to the next item on the agenda, so I'll leave it at that if anyone has questions about Justice Court. If not, you want me to just flow through to the next?
Sure. Go ahead.
And also for Councilman Rothwell, we started collecting the surcharges in March of 2024.
Yep.
Now we're almost done with March of 2025. So next month I'll have the full 1-year reflection of.
Good.
So we have 10 11 more days in March, and then we'll have the full year.
One question on the surcharges. Do we have the ability to increase those on an annual basis?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, by the same way they were put into the code, I'm sure we could
Can we include
discuss
that in what we're working on with looking at all the fines and, you know, adding, we need to do that, otherwise 20 years from now, it's still going to be $65, which will buy you a stick of gum.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
So I'll add that on the to-do list
Great.
for that.
I gotta quit gum now.
Store it up, stash it.
So that's pretty much it. Just had a couple parking trials. I had more trials in the month of March, which I'll talk about next month.
Okay. Very good.
So do we want to move on to the?
Yeah.
Okay. So as I was speaking about the fire marshal default judgments and also the blight mitigation, so right now, as the entire fire marshal code is written, everything's a misdemeanor. So that's kind of problematic. Most business owners do not want to plead to misdemeanors, especially, for example, what we went through in February, which were blocked egresses. A lot of it was Black Friday. They just kind of had racks in the back. By the time the ticket was issued, they removed them. In my personal opinion, practicing both on the defense side and the prosecutor side, I don't really think that rises to the level of a misdemeanor. And I think if somebody, fixes it quickly, they deserve to be able to plead to a violation. So what we've been doing, because there are no violations in the fire marshal code, is practice since before I got here, and what has been done is we'll amend it to a littering ticket. So for defense counsel and defendant, that's fine, but for the town, as I discussed probably in prior meetings, it doesn't give the fire marshals the credit they deserve for all the work that they do for these. So if the code had been changed before this meeting, you would see that the fire marshal section would be probably to the, close to the end. So what Liam and I did is we went through the code and we just kind of picked one random misdemeanor that we thought was like the least egregious. So it's the 23155. That is a place of assembly permit. So if you have 50 or more people, you have to get a yearly place of assembly permit. And we put it under the penalties, which is 23166. So if you see very minor change, we're just inserting, every part A is telling you about that everything's a misdemeanor. We're just putting in except for 23155. That way, when I'm in court and I'm disposing of these cases and I'm conferencing with defense counsel, I can now amend it and it'll actually make sense. So that's really the only change.
And you wouldn't really have to amend it if the ticket was just written for 235.55.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
no more amendments.
Correct. So this one I'll really only use for the blocked egress or some other, minor infractions that occur. Not changing the fines, not lowering the fines, not doing anything like that. We want to still collect the same fines that we've been collecting on them. So that's what I have for that. Any questions?
Like say, because it doesn't mention on this, but the surcharge will still stay in effect.
So for fire marshal level offenses, there is no surcharge.
What?
How do we do that?
I mean, when I look into increasing the surcharge amounts, we can always, I'll confer with other people in my office, but if it's possible, we'll see if we can add a surcharge onto those, and then that would have to create a whole new section of where the surcharge is collected.
I would like to even have it, even if it was a surcharge for the public betterment of when somebody penalizes that and the town can purchase like smoke detectors
Right,
and give
it
it
has
out
to
to
be-
seniors
yeah,
for
it-
free, there'd be a program that could essentially be covered through surcharges. So when you do a fire marshal offense,
Exactly.
money can be allocated
Yeah.
and seniors maybe have the opportunity, or anybody, that it could be given to some of the fire chiefs, that if they go to a house and you have a senior that doesn't have one, they can give them a free smoke detector. So
Right.
it's just a small little thing, but
So the surcharge has to be somewhat, there has to be a nexus between the surcharge and where it's going, so,
I love that.
yeah. All right, so I'll look into that. And that's what I have. else.
You going to court today?
I hope not. So far, there's nothing scheduled, I don't,
Okay, let's check it.
unless someone's brought in a warrant, so.
Well, we have a trip and fall case in the audience, so you never know.
Okay, all right, I'll keep my eye out for that. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Until next time.
Next up, we will take matters surrounding the monthly town clerk report.
Sorry I was late.
Yeah.
I was in the office, but we have Carol on vacation, so it's just the two of us. Basically, the monthly report, it's a little lower than the month before, but it's always been a slow month in February, so.
Marriages will be up for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's true. But we are excited about a lot of things that aren't on this report, and that, of course, is the new software programs that, in fact, we have a meeting today to talk about workflow and stuff like that. So we have a Zoom meeting at 1:30. So we're hoping by the end of the month we can go ahead and start training on the new agenda management, which is going to be a home run. It's going to be so much easier to create dockets. It's going to be better for the public, where they'll be able to really weigh in. It's going to be good. And that, plus the next request, which is almost ready to go online for the FOIL package, and of course the website as well. So I mean, we're busy outside of the day-to-day work and inside the town clerk's office trying to get that agenda management going. Just all around, it's just a much better program than that Minitrack. I hate to say it, but Minitrack, of course they assumed other roles now, but I think we're on a good path right now, very good path. And that's about it. Special permits are coming in. We had a special permit come in yesterday. I guess you'll probably see it, but Pulaski Street, I guess there's a battery storage or something going on.
Oh, yeah, that's circulating. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, it just came in yesterday. It's a special permit. It just came in, so that just got circulated. So we handled that. And that's about it.
Jim, real quick, how many, we have taxi renewals at 4. How many taxi companies are in Riverhead? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we only have about 4.
Oh, so they,
Yeah.
and we have the new fee, so.
Right, we have the new fee, and that, yes, thank you for that, we just passed that, and we just updated. It wasn't much, but, we went up $1 for our animal, for our,
Well, every little bit helps.
yeah, I don't want to say, how did you put it, I think I said it wrong last time, adopting animals? I said.
That's right.
That's right.
So, but it all helps, because it's the paperwork trail alone and the filing with the state and all that, so that $1 actually helps a little bit. And we went up on peddler's permits, which was a long time overdue, really. We're still, although we.
You see a lot of those?
A lot more coming in now.
Yeah.
Good, even the ones that go around with, Power Group to, put on roofs or solar or anything, they have to get that.
I see a lot of people out walking doing
Yeah,
that.
and they all need to get their peddler's permits.
That's, I mean, that's concerning to me because you never know who's real.
Well, you can ask to see their permit.
Ask to see their permit. I mean, they're vetted very well. I mean, to get peddler's
Okay.
permit, I mean, they
That's
have to
a good
go
point.
through background
That's-
checks.
That's what I do when they come to my door.
It's a big deal.
That's a good thing for the public to know. If somebody knocks on your door, ask them to see
Their
The
peddler's
peddler's
permit.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, the
that
town-
needs
the
to
town's
go
very
in the
good with
press.
It
That
goes
would
through
be a
code
very good thing.
enforcement, goes
They
through
should
the
also
police
have
department.
photo ID, most of them do.
Yeah, well, they get a little card from us, they get a photo, and they have to bring that all in. So it's a real deal. I mean, it's not, quite extensive background check.
I hope the press picks up on this.
I'm not sure
'cause
you would
that's
be able to get one, Bob, to be honest with you. Oh, I'm kidding.
You have a background check, is that
What are you peddling, Bob? What are you peddling?
Let's see, I don't know, I got.
But no, it's a lot of work in there, which is a good thing. It's really a good thing. You have somebody knocking on your door, you want to know what they're here for. So-
Did we increase that fee?
We did.
Okay.
Do religious groups have to have a peddler's permit?
What's that?
Do religious groups have to have a peddler's
No.
permit when they come? No?
No, you
Except
don't.
for
No.
that.
See, I would make, I think they should, because you don't know who's coming to your door. That gives a criminal the opportunity, no, I'm being told no.
Well, I mean, it's religious freedoms and stuff. I mean, they're going out, I mean, aside
Well,
from
I don't
government,
wanna talk-
that
this
is
gives
the
the
role
criminal
of
a
most
thing to
Christians,
do.
is to go around and
Tie
spread
on
news. We don't
Now
want
you're giving away ideas.
All right.
All right, any questions?
Any questions?
It's a
Got any
lifetime
questions? Lots of
movie.
questions. Anything?
Yeah.
You have your tie on with my shirt.
Good job today. You look good.
I'm sorry, I'll be more prepared next time. But no, we're just, like I said, we're so excited about the new software program. That's what we're really gearing up towards.
As long as
We've
you're
been waiting a year for it, right? So
Yeah.
it's time to move forward and get
Good.
that. You wait to see how it works. It's gonna be online
Can't
voting
wait.
and, oh,
Excellent.
Excellent.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, that completes everything we had for work session. I just, two things I wanted to mention quickly here. Again, today's the first day of spring, so we welcome that after a long and dreary winter every year. All our farmers were here, so we know they're going to be out tilling the field shortly. Just waiting for it to dry out a little bit from the last rain we had. And also want to mention that we mentioned this when he submitted his resignation letter. But Michael Reichel is retiring tomorrow after 40 years. And it's going to be a big loss. He's the true story of a Riverhead worker that came when he was young, started at the lowest level of the ladder, and climbed all the way to the top, running in an award-winning sewer district. We couldn't be more proud of Michael for the work that he did. Local boy done good, if you will. Really, we're going to miss him. We're in good hands with Tim Allen coming up behind him. But Michael's leaving with a lot of institutional knowledge and a lot of awards and a lot of credit to how that sewer plant came from back in the day, dumping so much nitrogen into the bay, to where the water that comes out of the end process now is actually used to irrigate Suffolk County Golf Course, Indian Island. And that's one small part of what they do down there and what they've done. And other sewer districts are copying what Riverhead has done. So that's always a nice credit to what we have here. And so we thank you, Michael. Best of luck to you. I know you're going to do some hiking. Enjoy, and thank you for your service to the town of Riverhead. We really appreciate it.
All around great guy.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Best of luck.
It's like a scientist when you talk to that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Love it.
He has a wealth of knowledge.
Okay, I will make a motion in a minute to close open and go into executive session. And we're going to discuss legal matters surrounding the sale of real property with Howard, Prudenti, HURLEY, and Thomas. Matters surrounding potential sale and/or lease of real property with Howard. Matters surrounding possible sale of real property with KERN. Matters surrounding acquisition of real property with Prudenti, HURLEY, and Thomas. Under contractual will be matters surrounding contractual agreement between the town of Riverhead and Environmental Facilities Corp. with DIPAOLA, Thomas, and Dillingham. And under personnel, we have matters surrounding hirings or possible appointments with Councilwoman Waski. I'd like to make a motion to close open session and go into executive session.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, open session is closed, and we are going to go up for executive session. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the first weekend of spring, and we'll see you next week.